The JoLynn Braley Show, episode number 264, The Power of Words in Weight Loss. Hello, welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. This is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the empowering and quite amazing Inner Self Diet. The non-diet, the diet that is not a diet, the diet that actually works because it heals the root of what made your body fat. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, the Inner Self Diet heals the root of your emotional eating, your binge eating, your compulsive overeating, your stuffing, your food addictions, your food obsessions, whatever it is, whatever the unhealthy behaviors are that are keeping your body fat, okay? The Inner Self Diet heals the root of that stuff, which means that then your behaviors transform so that you can do the healthy stuff that you already know logically you need to do in order to lose weight and keep it off, right? Because logically, you know that you've got to live a healthy lifestyle in order to lose weight and keep it off the rest of your life. You know that. I said that like 3 times, didn't I? But you know that you need to eat healthy. You need to be eating only when physically hungry, stopping when physically full. You've got to get plenty of regular exercise, cardio, and strength training. You got to be drinking enough water, good water, every day. You've got to be getting enough sleep at night and deep sleep. You know, there's a lot of things that go into living a healthy lifestyle, planning ahead, cooking your food, because whole foods are the easiest way for the body to release the fat. You got to get off the processed food because that stuff only gunks up your metabolism. You already know all of these things that are the physical side of the equation. But the big problem is that the physical side of the equation and the physical information, that's only 7.2% of the solution. 7.2% of the solution, that's it, okay? 92.8% of successful permanent weight loss is the inner self-healing, the inner game of weight loss, all right? All the stuff on the inside of you, your mindset, your beliefs, your thought patterns, your identity, your self-image, your self-confidence, your self-esteem, all these things that are going on inside of you, that makes up 92.8% of the challenge. And that's why you keep failing, because you're not addressing the biggest part of the equation. The really cool thing is that once you heal the root of what made your body fat, because the fat on your body is only a symptom of the problem. It's not actually the real problem. Once you heal the root of what made your body fat, then you will be free. All right? My coaching clients go through this consistently, constantly, all the time. They start working with me from a place of feeling powerless, feeling depressed, feeling ashamed because they can't stop eating. And then they just follow my steps. I lead them through it. Of course, when my clients are working with me, there's two-way communication. They're getting two-way in real-time feedback. We're actually doing the stuff that works to heal the root of the problem. And then the stuff transforms. The unhealthy behaviors release, and they are replaced with healthy behaviors. It's really freaking cool. It's not a magic bullet. I don't have a diet pill for anybody to take that's going to change what made them out of control with food. You got to go inside. You got to be willing to look at yourself. You got to have the right steps to work with and the right tools. You got to be working with a 5-star permanent weight loss coach who can see your blind spots and help you navigate out from behind them, because you can't see your own blind spots because they're blind. And then you will be free. Okay, so anyway, with that very, very long introduction, just in case you've never been on one of my podcasts before, now you have a little bit of an idea who you're listening to here and where I'm coming from and the kind of awesome work that I do. I have been coaching my amazing clients since 2009. The work I do works every time, but it doesn't work if all you do is listen to me talk about it. You got to actually be in the inner self diet. You got to get the tools. You got to get the coaching. You got to get the accountability. You got to be moving forward and doing the steps, and then you will be free. Hey, today's topic on today's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, episode number 264, I'm going to talk about the power of words in weight loss. But first, if you'd like to learn just a little bit more about this topic of making weight loss easy from the inside out, that's actually where I'm going to send you to right now. Go to www.easyfunweightloss.com, www.easyfunweightloss.com. I have a free ebook there you can get. In it, you'll get 3 simple steps to start making weight loss easier from the inside out. And, excuse me, they are not food tips, because that's not the problem. How much food and exercise information do you already have on your hard drive or on your bookshelf? So if that would fix what ails you, then why are you listening to my voice right now? You get it? Make it sense? Make it sense? Yep. All right. So yeah, you can get my free ebook at www.easyfunweightloss.com. So how about today's topic, the power of words in weight loss? Well, words are very powerful, and you are the one speaking the words you speak. You are the one thinking the words you think. You are the one engaging in the ongoing patterns of thought that you engage in. Nobody else is making you think what you think or say what you say. And words are very, very powerful. For example, if you often say, "I can't lose weight," guess what? You're right, you can't. And you never will, because you've decided you can't. And you're speaking it. You're saying it. Hey, by the way, this is not even a Get Real episode today. The Get Real episode was the first episode of this month, episode number 262. So this right here is not even a Get Real episode, but, you know, you're still not going to like what I'm going to say if you're not willing to really take a look at yourself and look at what you're saying. You know, what are you preaching? Are you preaching, "I can't lose weight, it's all too hard, they're the ones that are the problem, it's the fast food industry, they're keeping me fat, I can't resist the Taco Bell"? You're right, you can't. You can't resist the Taco Bell because you're saying it, because you keep affirming it, because you keep repeating it, because it's your mantra, it's your world, it's your reality, and you're creating all of it with your words. Isn't that amazing? And it's really cool. It's really cool because you could, if you wanted to, if you wanted to make weight loss easier, you could start by paying attention to what the heck you're saying and what you're thinking. And you know what a really simple exercise is that you could do? You take a pen and you take a piece of paper. No, not a keyboard. No, not your phone. And no, not just listening to my voice. You take a pen and you take a piece of paper, and every time you catch yourself saying something negative, saying something crappy, especially anything crappy about yourself, about your body, or if you're saying crappy things about other people, especially if you're hating on fit, slender women, guess what? If you say crappy things about women who are looking awesome, you're not going to be that. You're not going to become that. And isn't that what you want to become? Because every time that you say words that are negative or critical of others who are succeeding in the ways that you're not, you are telling the universe, I don't want any of that. Get it away from me. So you're just shooting yourself in the foot. Do you get what I'm saying? Does it make sense? Even a little bit? All right? You are the one who has the power to make the changes if you're going to make any changes in your life. And this very, very simple exercise of just a pen and paper, all right? You got to use pen and paper. If you're not willing to do that, then you're not willing to do it. And you're not going to make very much progress in making changes, making positive changes. When you put pen on paper, you're getting that stuff, you're taking it out of your head, you're becoming conscious of it, you're writing it down, and then you can see it in the light of day. Just a very simple step, okay? Very tiny baby step. But let's say that you notice yourself saying, I can never resist Oreo cookies. Oh, wow. Then you can't. You're right. You can't resist Oreo cookies. But what you could do is you notice that you think that, you notice that you say it, just jot it down. And then what I would do is I would write underneath that sentence, underneath your mantra, that your mantra is I can't resist Oreo cookies, I would write underneath that, who says? Question mark. Who says? Only you. Nobody else. No one else says that this is true. Only you. Again, this is just a very, very baby, tiny step. But you know what? This is a huge step for those who are completely unconscious. In fact, maybe you've heard of the phrase mindless eating. Okay? When you're unconscious of what you are thinking and what you are doing, and you're just living by reaction, you're just out there with the knee-jerk reactions based on what other people are doing or what you are seeing. You're not in the driver's seat of your own life, all right? And when you're used to living like that, which, by the way, that's how millions of people live, maybe billions, all right? Doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean that you're doomed or anything like that. It just means that, hey, have you ever seen The Matrix? It's like you're living in the Matrix. You're not conscious. And until you take action to become conscious of what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you are choosing, all right, you are the one making the choice to be overweight. And if you do not accept that, then that means that you are not taking full personal badass responsibility for yourself and your outcomes. And then you can't make any changes. And in this case, can't is true. You are not going to be able to make significant core transformation within yourself as long as you do not take personal responsibility for what you are thinking, what you are saying, what you are choosing to put into your mouth, how you are choosing to move your body. If you do not accept that these are your choices and that your current situation in your life is a result of past and present choices that you have made, if you do not accept this, then you are in the victim mentality of blaming other people and making it everyone else's fault, and you will not be able to achieve permanent weight loss from that place. It just cannot happen. Now, I'm not saying that once you step up and take full responsibility for yourself, I'm not saying that you know how to achieve permanent weight loss, but you've got to be willing to become aware and start taking action to notice what you are saying, what you are thinking, as just a tiny baby step, like this little exercise of writing these thoughts down, pen on paper. I don't mean journaling. You don't have to journal a whole bunch of stuff. You just notice that you say something negative, jot it down. it will help you to become aware of what kind of inner self programming you are running. And you cannot change anything you're not aware of. Okay, so what I was saying there, though, is that even by taking full responsibility for yourself and your choices, it doesn't mean that you're going to know magically how to unravel what you have gotten yourself into. I highly recommend, if what you want, if you want the results of struggle-free weight loss as fast as possible. Struggle-free weight loss means that you're able to just live a healthy lifestyle and it's no big deal. Struggle-free weight loss does not mean that you don't do anything. Okay? It's not about sitting around thinking positive thoughts and suddenly you lose weight. No, you have to do things to live a healthy lifestyle. And when it's not any big deal, when you're not struggling with emotional eating, binge eating, when you're not struggling with any of that stuff, and it's just not a big deal for you to live a healthy lifestyle, then you've got struggle-free weight loss. But there are steps and processes and tools and repetition, and I guess you could call it training. There are things you have to learn and learn how to do differently in order to get to the place where it's easy for you to live a healthy lifestyle. And if you want to do that as fast as possible, you want to be working with a 5-star permanent weight loss coach who already has a system put together that all you have to do is follow it. And you got to be willing to take full badass personal responsibility for yourself to step up to get that coaching that you need, want, and desire. Well, actually, you don't want the coaching. You want the results. You want to lose weight, right? You want to stop binge eating. You want to get out of your own way. You want to stop feeling like crap, don't you? I mean, you want to stop feeling so frustrated and this every day over and over, you get up in the morning, oh, today's going to be different. And then 2 hours later, it's not. And then you tell yourself at the end of the night, tomorrow will be different, or next Monday will be different. And then that goes on for how many years? 10, 20, 30, 40. I've had coaching clients who've been struggling with this stuff for 40 or more years because these problems start when you're a kid. And the problems are not the food, and the problem is not the fat. The problem is what's going on inside of you. It's your inner self programming. Is this making any sense? Are you getting it? Is it making a little bit of sense? Okay. So if you want to unravel this stuff, okay, if you want to lose weight and keep it off, if you want to stop binge eating, like my client Holly, who I worked with in 2011, all right, and now we're here in 2018. I worked with her a long time ago, and she had been struggling with binge eating for over 30 years, and she'd been in therapy off and on for 7 years. She'd done all kinds of different things to try to stop binge eating. Nothing had worked for her, and she hired me to coach her, and she did the steps that I teach, my proven system in the inner self diet, and lo and behold, her binge eating released, it went away, it was gone. She was 20 pounds overweight. She dropped the 20 pounds. This was back in 2011. Here we are in 2018. Holly still sends me updates. She has not regained the 20 pounds. The binge eating has not returned. Now, keep in mind, she's had all of the inner self diet tools in her pocket since 2011. So she's been able to use those tools all this time. So if she ever had even a twinge of even a thought that anything, any kind of a struggle with the food could come back up, all she had to do was use the inner self diet tools. But by now, from what she's told me, her mindset is it is just so natural for her to live healthy and fit. It's just not even a question anymore of her previous life, before we met in 2011. And she'd been struggling. I mean, that was 30 plus years of binge eating struggle. So anyway, the thing is, though, is that these problems they're really tricky. You cannot fix them logically. if you could fix them logically, then you would have already fixed them, right? And especially when you look at the fact that you're really a smart gal and you're successful in your professional life. And that can be even more frustrating because when you're smart and successful professionally, but you still have not been able to solve this food and weight thing, that's even more frustrating because you tend to think, well, why can't I figure it out? I figured everything else out. So, yeah, it's not a logical problem. Anyway, hey, if you would love to fix it, if you'd love to end your food and weight struggles so that you could finally drop the problems, right? The problems of the emotional eating, binge eating, food addiction, whatever it is, yo-yo dieting, scale obsession, scale fear, shame, body hate, mindless eating, binge eating at night, stuffing down your feelings, stuffing down your fears, trying to stuff down your insecurities, whatever it is that you're doing that's keeping your body fat and it keeps you gaining weight. If you want to fix that stuff and you want to do it as fast as possible, your first step, you can go over to www.discovery-session.com and opt in there, and then on the next page fill out an application to get on the phone with me on a complimentary weight loss discovery session. And that's the only way to find out if it would be a mutual good fit for us to work together in the inner self diet. You cannot just get into the inner self diet without the interview, without the phone conversation, without that two-way communication. So that's it. It's the only way to get in the inner self diet. And if you're excited, if you can, think ahead a year from now. If you could actually be free of the pain and the frustration and whatever your personal struggles are with the food and the fat, and if a year from now you could look back on this time and this moment listening to this podcast, and you could say to yourself, shit, man, I'm so glad that I found JoLynn. I'm so glad that I applied for that complimentary call, and then I actually did the inner self diet, and here I am a year later. And well, I don't work with my clients for a year. I'm just saying that if you could look back, the inner self diet doesn't take a year. Isn't that cool? Most of my clients, they're struggle-free with food and their weight in 8 weeks or less. But I'm just saying that, a year from now, being able to look back on this time and being able to say, I am so thankful to myself that I took action and I got these problems fixed and I allowed JoLynn to help me. And here I am a year later and I'm already at my ideal weight. And I used to have these. It seemed like it would never stop. I thought I was doomed to always struggle with food and the weight thing, food and the fat. And I don't anymore. Now food is food. I enjoy what I eat, but I'm not obsessed with it anymore. And I don't try to stuff my fears and my uncomfortable emotions down. I don't try to use food to feel better. And I still have challenges in my life. Life is never going to be perfect. The inner self diet is not the solution to make your life perfect, and it doesn't mean that you're never going to feel bad. What the inner self diet does is it makes it so that you are able to go through the negative experiences in your life without using food to try to get through them. So no matter what kind of negative experiences you might have, at least you'll look good. But seriously, you probably want to look good, don't you? But just imagine if you could go through different kinds of experiences in your life. A breakup. People, unfortunately, they leave, okay? A job loss, whatever it is, a pet dying. There's things that are very upsetting that you can experience in your life. You don't want to experience things like that, but just imagine, since you cannot control, what other people are, you can't control other people. But if you could just go through the negative experiences without using food to feel better, how freaking awesome would that be? Because right now, even when you don't have a major catastrophe, you're just stressed out from traffic and you go to Starbucks. Or somebody looks at you sideways at work and you head to the donut table. They're not even traumatic experiences, but your high anxiety, your fear of what other people are thinking, your social anxiety, it's keeping you fat because you haven't healed the root of the real problem. Is this making sense? Are you getting it? Can you see how you really could set yourself free if you could just release the unhealthy behaviors? Because it's the unhealthy behaviors that make your body fat, right? And it's the root of whatever it is that drives those behaviors that needs to be healed. What is that for you? I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know who you are. I don't even know who you are listening to this. You could be a parakeet, for all I know. You're not even a human, but your parakeet papa left some kind of audio device on and you're listening to this podcast. I have no idea who you are. I have no idea what is stopping you from dropping the fat and keeping it off. I don't know anything about you. Unless you are one of my awesome clients in the Inner Self Diet. If you are, then if you have any questions or ahas about anything that I've shared here on this podcast, tell me. All right, bring them to the call and just tell me that you were listening to episode number 264 of the JoLynn Braley Show, and or write it in the forum. Tell me what your questions are. I'm more than happy to go deeper with you and apply anything that I've shared here to your personal food and weight struggles. Because of course, if I'm working with you in the Inner Self Diet, then it's really easy for me to see what's stopping you. You already know that if you're one of my coaching clients. So anyway, if you're not in the Inner Self Diet, then if you want to fix this stuff and you want to do it fast, like I said, just go over to www.discovery-session.com. That's where you want to start. We have a quick commercial break here on the JoLynn Braley Show. And this is for you. This commercial break is for you if you just want to learn a little bit more about yourself. You're really not ready to break free of your food and weight struggles. Maybe it scares you to imagine succeeding with food and your weight. I don't know. Again, I don't know who you are, what's going on with you, but I can give you a really cool thing that you can opt in and get right now, and that is my free 5-day e-course. And what that's about is it's my free 5-day e-course which will help you answer the question, is your mindset fit or fat? And I'll give you a clue. If your mindset is fat, you're going to keep struggling with food and your weight, unfortunately. So what you want to do is you want to do the inner self healing work so that you get a weight loss mindset. And then over time, that weight loss mindset will transform into a fit mindset. But first, it's good to find out where you're starting from and find out right now, do you have a fit mindset or do you have a fat mindset? And so you can get that right now. You can go over to www.mypodcastbonus.com, www.mypodcastbonus.com, and you can opt in for that right now. All right, a couple questions to ask yourself on each episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. I think it's each episode. Might have missed one here or there, but I have been doing this free weight loss podcast since January, first week of January 2013, and it's been a weekly podcast. But if you want to listen to all the episodes and see if on all of them I have given you questions to ask yourself, then definitely go for it. But I'm pretty sure that on each episode of the JoLynn Braley Show, I've been giving you questions to ask yourself. I'm going to give you questions to ask yourself right now, and I highly recommend that you write each question down, pen on paper, and then you write your answer down, pen on paper. Why? Because there is a connection that occurs between the head, the hand, and the heart when you write pen on paper. You do not get that connection typing on a keyboard. You don't get anything at all if you just listen to my voice. The words go in, the words go out. I agree with Tony Robbins, who says that you will never learn by just listening. You have to get the pen and paper out. Hey, you don't have to believe me. Go do research and research the most successful people, alive or dead, and you will find that there is a pattern that pen and paper is used. Even today, yes, even with cell phones. My business coach always recommending pen on paper. Okay, there must be some kind of a reason for that. All right, you getting what I'm saying? Now, of course, you don't have to do this. It's up to you what you want to do. But if you want to get the most out of this totally free weight loss podcast, then you can get pen and paper, and you can pause the podcast if you need more time to answer the questions. Okay, so the first question: how high is my awareness of my ongoing negative thought patterns and the words that I'm speaking? How high is my awareness of my negative thought patterns and the negative words that I am speaking? And answer that. It could be that it's just so easy for you to go there to use all of those negative phrases, to keep making excuses, to keep telling yourself you can't. It's just such a story that you've been telling for so long. It's possible that you're not even aware of what you're saying. Number 2 question: how often do I say that I can't? I can't lose weight. I can't do this. I can't work out. I can't stick with it. I can't stop eating. Can't. How often do I say that I can't? Number 3 question: does it make sense to me that if I were to change my inner self programming, that, gosh, maybe weight loss really would become easy for me? Does it make sense to me that if I were to change my inner self programming, that weight loss really could become easy for me? And what is your inner self programming? It goes beyond the words you're thinking and what you're saying. It also has to do with your identity. If your identity is fat, your body has to be fat. If your self-image is fat, your body has to be fat. It has to do with a lot of things that are going on subconsciously within you. And a lot of it wouldn't even make sense to you. It's because it doesn't make logical sense. That's why the stuff I do with my coaching clients works, because it's not logical, but it works. I know, it's really weird. But hey, who cares? Who cares? Because what they want is they want to stop struggling and they want to lose weight and keep it off. And that's what they get in the inner self diet. Number 4 question: where am I going to be 1 year from now if I just keep doing what I'm doing? Where the heck am I going to be 1 year from now if I just keep doing what I'm doing? Okay, where am I going to be with my weight? Where am I going to be with my level of fitness? What about my work? What about how I feel about myself? What about my bank account? What about my relationships? Where am I going to be a year from now if I just keep doing what I'm doing? And that's really not hard to figure out. Just look at your past. How many years have you been telling yourself that someday you'll make these changes? You might even have had an awareness that mindset, that inner self is 92.8% of the challenge of permanent weight loss. But you keep telling yourself, oh, well, I'll just do another food diet and I'll work on that inner self stuff later. But this has been going on for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So if you're not sure where you're going to be a year from now, if you keep doing what you're doing, just look at your past results. That's all you got to do. Number 5 question, where could I be a year from now? Where could I be a year from today, from now, if I were to actually get this stuff fixed? If I could really get this stuff fixed, get out of my own way, move forward, where could I be a year from now? What would I weigh? What would I look like? How would I feel? What would I be thinking? What kind of work would I be doing? What would my relationships look like? What would my bank account look like? Why am I including all of these areas of your life? Because you think you have a weight problem and you don't. You got a life problem. And this problem intersects all areas of your life. So what happens is when I work with my awesome clients in the Inner Self Diet and they transform and heal the root of this problem that made their body fat, it intersects all other areas of their life because it never is a food problem. It never is a fat problem. It's a much deeper problem than that, and it intersects every area of your life. So where could I be a year from now if I were to actually fix this stuff? How cool would that be? How awesome would that be? How would I feel? Hey, as you're writing these answers down, if you are not able to envision yourself successful and see yourself successful, you cannot have it. It won't happen. It's critical that you are able to see yourself successful and believe it, and instead of you doubting it. If you doubt it or you think it's a delusion, you're not going to have it. You won't be able to do it. So there's a lot that goes into this if you really want permanent weight loss. What number are we on? 5 or 6? Last question. Who's my coach? Who is my 5-star permanent weight loss coach in my corner? Who helps me see my blind spots that I can't even see? Who's helping me release my food and weight struggles as fast as possible? Because what I really want is I want this pain to end. I want this frustration to end. I want to stop being so out of control with this thing. I want to heal this shit and get the frick on with my life, right? So how am I doing this? Who's my coach? Coaching is the fastest way to get to where you want to go. Of course, you want to work with a 5-star permanent weight loss coach, not just anybody, because you could waste a lot of time working with just anyone. And haven't you already wasted enough time? The longer you wait to get the help you need, the easier it is to keep gaining weight, and the easier it will be to keep staying stuck. Because these things don't get better on their own. It's kind of like if you had a flat tire on your car. If you just keep driving on the flat tire, is it going to get fixed? Is it going to get better? If you ignore it, is it going to magically get better? No, it's going to get worse. Eventually, the rubber will fall off, and now you're riding on a rim, and then that rim will get bent, and then what? You got a stump? Okay? That's why you don't allow that to happen. If you get a flat tire, you take it somewhere to get it fixed, don't you? You don't just keep riding on it. Well, if you don't get your food and weight stuff fixed, aren't you just continuing to ride on that problem? And it doesn't go away, does it? It doesn't matter how many food diets you do or how many YouTube videos you look at or how many books you buy or how much information you collect What's changing? You know, the only thing that makes change is action, consistent action, but you have to have the right steps to be taking the consistent action with. And if you don't have the right steps, and if you don't have accountability, and if you don't have high-level, 5-star, two-way coaching, communication with your 5-star permanent weight loss coach, then you're just delaying, and you're actually standing in your own way of what you could have. Does that make sense? You get it? You know, I know there's a lot of people really stuck in struggle. It's an addiction. It's an addiction to the struggle. And, you know, they tell themselves, I can do it all on my own. Well, cool. If you could do it all on your own, why do you still have the problem? And how do you see your own blind spots? Does that make sense? You know? So you're smart to get help. That's a smart thing to do. The other folks, they just keep struggling, unfortunately, but you don't care about everybody else, right? Because you want to fix your shit and get out of your own way and get the heck on with your life. You know, you're not concerned about these other people that stay addicted to the struggle, and they just want to keep trying to bang it out on their own, and they keep telling themselves that next Monday it'll be different, but, you know, it never really is, unfortunately. All right, well, that is all that I have for you today on episode number 264 of the JoLynn Braley Show. Next week, that will be episode number 265, and the topic is going to be the truth about your secret binge eating. The real hard truth about your secret binges, what you think is secret binge eating. That's what I will be covering next week. It will not be a Get Real episode because I just do one Get Real episode per month, and so we've got to get into the next month before I do another Get Real episode. But with that being said, next week's episode will be to the point, and it's going to be a good one. So you could tune in for that. Make sure that you are subscribed to the show in iTunes, or if you're listening on Spotify or iHeartRadio or TuneIn or wherever it is that you're getting the JoLynn Braley Show, do make sure that you're subscribed. Also, I would love it if you would give the show a tip. And here's how you could do it. It's a free tip. All you have to do is go over to iTunes, open the JoLynn Braley Show in iTunes, rate and review the show. That's it. I would love it if you do that because that'll help more people find the show in iTunes. And it's really, really easy to do. You search for the show, the JoLynn Braley Show in iTunes, and then you rate it. I think this is a 5-star show, but you can rate it and then write a little paragraph, review it. Share what your biggest aha is that you've gotten from the show. And that would be really cool. I'd love to read it. Of course, you can take action with the very simple pen on paper exercise that I gave you today. Raise your awareness of what you're thinking and what you are saying. Your words are creating your life. What you say and what you do today and what you think and what you focus on is creating your body and your life in your future. So, you know, it's something that it would be worth it for you to pay attention to if you're not happy with the results you're getting right now. Now, if you would love to break free of your food and weight struggles as fast as possible, if you would love to stop asking yourself the question, why the heck am I so smart and successful professionally, but I've never succeeded at that level with food and my weight? If you'd love to stop asking yourself that, head on over to discovery-session.com, opt in there, and then you'll be taken to the application page. Complete your application for a complimentary weight loss discovery session with me. That's where we get on the phone one-on-one. And you want to make sure that when you fill out that application that you're filling it out completely, okay? If you put a one-word answer in there in that application for your questions, either you won't hear from scheduling, or you will get sent to a survey to find out more, because it just makes it look like a person is not serious about making real changes if they don't include full details in their application. This is a limited time offer. I am going to come to a point where I will not be offering these complimentary weight loss discovery sessions. So, if you're really serious about yourself and you're serious about your life and you want to end this pain and frustration that you keep living with every day with these food and weight struggles, to get to the other side where you're able to just live a healthy lifestyle, without it being any big deal, so that the weight can come off and stay off. If you want to get this done, that's the reason to go over to www.discovery-session.com. If you are not serious about fixing these problems and getting out of your own way so that you can achieve permanent weight loss as fast as possible, then do not go to www.discovery-session.com, because it's not for you. It's just not. You are welcome to keep listening to my podcast if you want to, but the rest of it isn't for you. It's only for people who are badass serious about creating the life and the body of their dreams and getting it done. They are not willing to waste any more time struggling. And those are the ones that I can help. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in today. My name is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the kick-ass amazing Inner Self Diet, the diet that actually works because it's not a food diet. It actually fixes the real problem and it sets you free. I wish you your best life, living inside of your ideal body.